Hey everyone, so Handshow has a new screen they sent to me to check out. The Ultra Mini screen. On the website dropdown, I think it's called like Sexy Mini Dash Screen.
No, too sexy!
Handshow has all kinds of different screens on their website. Check it out. Screens that are actually smaller, real small, smaller than this one. Medium, larger. So if you don't like this one, check out the other ones. My discount code works on just about everything on that website. So use that too. So I'm going to show you what the screen has to offer and what it's like in action. Then we'll do an unboxing and I'll show you some full install instructions. Keep in mind that this is my first time installing this too, so I'll share my struggles. Also keep in mind that the install here connects to the MCU, which pretty much all these screens do. So the install here is pretty much going to work for all those screens. Something else to keep in mind, the screen is brand new. There are a few glitches. I'll get into those in the review. Also keep in mind that I say keep in mind a lot. By the way, if you don't have one of these tilt screen things, you are seriously missing out at this point. I don't know why everybody doesn't have one. Go get one of those from Handshow already. Just go get one. All right, so let's check this thing out in action. So as you can see, it reads what the MCU reads. So in other words, what this screen sees and reacts to, this screen sees and reacts to it basically the exact same time. Turn signals, charge indicator, you know, speed limit here, your current speed, miles an hour. This was, when I first started, this was a 12-hour time. Now it's 24-hour, so that's one of the glitches. Also, one of the glitches, I can't get the PSI here to work. I don't know why the tire pressure isn't working here. I can't seem to get it to read. It works on, you know, it's working on the Tesla screen. My TPMS sensors are fine. This is just not picking them up for some reason. I tried resetting them here and it's not. So this is just one of those glitches that they have to worry about. Again, this thing is brand new. So this is, I think this is the UI 1. There's UI 1 and UI 2. So let me pull over and switch to UI 2 so I can show you that. So it, you know, again, I don't know if I need to read all, it's holding, by the way. Same as here. You know, range 231 miles. And that's kind of cool because if we look over here, it's 83%. So even though I have this set for percentage, this is telling me miles. You know, that's kind of cool. So I don't need to switch back and forth. I don't need to, you know, hit the screen there. So basically, some of the things I look at all the time, miles an hour, time, percent range. I do like having PSI here because it went away on the Tesla screen. All right, you got to kind of dig into the service menu to get it. Now we have it here. I do like that. This follow distance thing though, I'm really much care about that, but you know, okay, whatever. Let me switch the UIs to UI 2. Okay, so here's UI 2. You can see they just kind of switch things around a little bit. Range, and then we added odometer here. That's kind of cool. I mean, honestly, I can't remember the last time I looked at my odometer. And then, you know, I don't have to tell you what this stuff is, but it's just a different arrangement. So really, it's switched, you know, you have auto, bright, and dark. It's kind of cool because this more or less disappears. Where when you have a bright screen, it kind of, the whole screen is bright, and the whole screen just kind of sticks out more. So if you want it to be more subtle, you put it on dark mode. It just kind of, all you see are the characters. You don't see the whole screen. I don't know if that really makes sense, but let me show you what this does driving around. Okay. As you can see, no other, I just gotta, you know, I was just pulling off the side of the road, pulling off from the curb, and it's telling me to, you know, take control of the car like we were in some kind of dangerous situation. We weren't. But what that showed us is that none of those warnings show up here. Pretty much what what you see here, you know, aside from the those other seat belt and basic warnings show up here, but you're not going to get those other screen warnings to pop up here. Okay, another glitch. This will sometimes go to 100%, I think just on this UI for some reason, then sometimes it goes back. Again, that's something else that they will be working on a fix for. Oh, you can actually switch this stuff while you're driving. It's interesting. I didn't think it'd be able to. Let's go back to UI 1. So it got a little darker here. The sun is going down, so my lights came on, so you've got the indicators here. It's pretty cool. I think you can see too that this is so low on the steering column that even if you have a normal steering wheel, I obviously have this yoke, there's still enough room to see this underneath the wheel. So I don't think that's an issue. Okay, so this is pretty nice, because if you're sensitive about having this speedometer over here, which a lot of people are when they get into a Tesla. Now also, keep in mind that I've got one of these tilt screens, which, by the way, get yourself one of these tilt screens already. I mean, I can't believe that they sell a car with the screen just sitting over here at this point. Once you get one of these screens, you'll wonder why you went without one. But anyway, from a standard normal car, you're used to having your speedometer right here. People that switch to a Tesla get sensitive about having to look over here. Now, is it a big deal to keep your eyes to switch just over here to see the speed? No, you get used to it. But with this, it is a little bit better. You can kind of see it almost a little bit better out of the corner of your eye, the bottom of your eye. It's just more natural to shift lower. It just makes more sense to have it down here. So that makes this pretty slick. I really miss being able to put my PSI indicator over here. Now, can they add more UIs to this screen? Yeah. Will they? I don't know. I'm assuming they will. We can make some requests to have some different things put on there. Maybe they could add the camera, when you change lanes, how you can set the screen up to when you use your turn signal, it shows you what's in the left and what's in the right. On the screen. Maybe they could pump the video into here. It'd be kind of cool to have the radio station you're on, maybe get rid of this. Also, there is a USB-C port over here, so that when they do update the firmware or make any changes, you can make an update there. It would be nice to have different UIs that we could program, or just tons of different choices. But yeah, I do like this screen. It's blocking a lot less air conditioning, and it's just a lot less intrusive. Let's take a quick look at this. It's not set up yet, but just to give you an idea of the size. It's about a 4.5-inch screen or so. This is a Galaxy Tab. It's about a 9-inch screen. So you can see that's a massive difference. My phone, this is 6.5. So you can kind of see the difference in size. It's pretty small, but it's like, an old school phone. It's like one of your first iPhones, basically. So this is what I had before. And you can see it blocks the vents substantially. That's a major downside of it. Upside, tons of information. So that's it, everyone. Sexy new screen from Handshow, all right? Go get one, or go get one of the other ones, all right? Either way, please use my discount code. It saves you a pretty good amount of money, all right? And then like and subscribe, or like and subscribe, then go to Handshow. I don't know. Do them both at the same time. Just get them done. Something I hope they do include, though, are little pry bars, because we are going to need them to do this install. The instructions, by the time you see this, will hopefully be online somewhere. If not, well, hey, you got me, all right? I'm going to show you how to install this, but yeah, otherwise, no instructions, no pry bars. But yeah, they really got to put pry bars in here, because otherwise it's going to make the install a little more difficult. For the install, there are two different types of processors, the Ryzen and the Intel Atom. I have the Intel Atom, and from what I can tell, there's easier access to the Ryzen processor, so it should be easier to install. All right, using one of the pry tools, Actually, not even sure you need a pry tool for this, but it's better if you use it. But we got to get both of these off. There's one on the other side too. Okay, now this should just come straight up. That is out. And can make note of all of these clips in there, because we are going to have to make sure they all clip right back in. Next we got to get this guy off. This is where the whole replacement screen goes. Okay, so I adjusted the steering wheel all the way out, which it pretty much already was, and we're going to pull these little clips off. And another reason why you want some kind of a pry tool, although you could use a screwdriver here. Alright, that was kind of the easy part. Now, we got to lift this guy up. More clips. Okay, it's got to go out a little bit that way and up in order to get this piece out. All right, look at the difference here, or the lack of difference. I mean, that is the exact factory finish. Wow. All right, cool. We need to move this over to this. So these sides just kind of come off. That's no big deal. That comes out of there. And these look like they just need a little bit of a pinch. Oh, that one's that way. That one you pinch. There we go. Pinch it a little bit harder. All right, put that one aside. And then this one, go right back on here. Okay. That is pretty straightforward. Okay, this here is a simple plug-in. This green wire and connector, this is some kind of future upgrade thing. There's really nothing to plug it into yet, so I don't know what the deal is there. All right, so now we just have to put this back in. And I am going to kind of set this here like this. Make sure you have the steering wheel as far back as possible, and then I'll show you how I tape this up just to keep the cables down so they're not bouncing around potentially. But when you put this on, make sure you pull this all the way back so that you don't end up shorting yourself on the cable. You know, if the steering wheel's all the way up and you start taping things down, you're not gonna, and then you move the steering wheel out, there's not gonna be enough room for the cable to stretch. You're not gonna leave enough slack in there. All right, so try to line up all these tabs here. Make sure this is all on the, these are all on the inside. And up here, here, here. Okay. This is good. Yeah. Oh, it's not popping in easy. This guy gotta pop in too. All right. I got to admit, that took a lot of force. Okay, but it's in. Here's what we got so far. Everything's in. Panels all lined up. These clips in. Again, this is a spare, well, you know, whatever, future upgrade cord. Okay, so I taped everything down here just so it doesn't bounce. The tape that I used is this. Why? Because I had it. Use it for another Christmas light video if you want to see that. Otherwise, though, you can buy this same tape here. This is looks like felt tape, and that works also well. But this 3M repair tape that I have sticks really well, and it'll keep this from bouncing around if it might. I'm not sure if it will once we put the dash back on. But here is where I ran the cable all the way through. A little dark over there, and then over on this side and down on the side, which I showed before. So let's now get this dash back on. Don't want to scratch anything up, but you can see where we've got all of our alignment tabs and tabs that need to pop and click in. So trying to kind of line all this up to begin with. Okay, this side's down. Let's pop these guys back in. Okay, so this is the most challenging part. You have to get up under here. This is a computer that we need to tap into. There is a middle connector here that's gray. That's the one we need to get to. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, now the idea in plugging this into the computer is to create a pass-through. So in other words, I'm going to unplug the computer. This is going to plug into the computer, and then the plug that we take out is going to plug into here. So really the computer is still plugged in, only this is going to tap off of that and go to our new screen. All right, it's pretty simple. That plug up there is just like this. So the idea is that we have to push this centerpiece in and pull out at the same time. You don't need to power your car down ahead of time. You can safely unplug that without powering the car down first. Once you pull it out, obviously the screen and everything powers down. And once you plug everything back in a few minutes, everything will, you know, your screen and everything will come back to life. So there's really no concern about that. People do this kind of thing all the time. It was surprisingly not that bad to unplug the computer. I was basically able to get my one hand up there and push down and hold it pretty much just like this and pull it out. Here from the top, we see the factory connector is now plugged into the hand show screen connector with the pass-through here. And now the pass-through end here has to be plugged into the Tesla computer. Now, you could do this the other way around. You could plug this end into the computer first and then plug the factory computer connector into the hand-show pass-through, which is the way I ended up doing it. Either way, it's tight and you kind of have to pre-bend the wires and connectors to, as I said in the other part here, to just kind of get things lined up ahead of time. And then honestly, just kind of relax. If you can't get this thing in, take a break, come back to it in a few minutes. It's once you're done, it's you realize it really wasn't all that bad. Okay, got it plugged in. Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. The last two connectors, just make sure you got everything bent and twisted so that you've got it lined up properly. I tried for a couple minutes to connect them and they were not aligned. I had it the opposite way. The connector only goes in one way and I had it the other way. So pretty quickly that you plugged it in. Just make sure when you get the connectors plugged in that you hear the little click and it is all the way connected. And pretty quickly, because all of a sudden you hear some humming and things, you hear the car power up, and after, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, you'll hear the main relay click, and then your screen will turn back on. When all that stuff comes up, as long as everything's plugged in, you're good to go.